Previously, Sean and Taria made their way to Cecily's house, where she and Taria had a touching reunion. Cecily filled Taria in on what had been happening in the town, while Taria told Cecily about Pesh's plans to play with fire. Back in the sewers, the rest of the group workshopped a better plan than Pesh had come up with. Taria and Sean eventually rejoined them and chimed into the conversation as they made some proper decisions on what to do. They decided on a multi-pronged attack. Taria would take her and Tornak into the garrison via Dimension Door. He would drop several bombs made by Keelan that would be set off by thunder damage, and then he would thunder step the two of them away, which in turn would set off said bombs. The rest of the group would then set off explosives under a street used heavily by the praetors and soldiers, as presumably the garrison exploding would catch their attention. As all of that was happening, Yuri would bring the ship out of its bottle, and Kai Gilbor would lead a group from Port Freehaven who would be getting there instantly through the magical door on the ship. Of course, everyone knows what they say about the best laid plans. Shortly after they'd figured out what they were going to do and started moving the explosives to the new location, Pesh was notified that one of his people had been captured. Sean looked in on that individual via scrying several times, and she was watching when he broke and told the praetors about the explosives. The group decided to adjust the plan slightly. They moved some of the explosives back to the original location, which is where the praetors were expecting them to be. The hope was that the praetors would find those and assume that was all of them. The group had enough other hazardous materials in their bag of holding to more than make up for it under the street they planned on exploding. They also moved to the undersewers to rest for the night, as they were concerned Pesh's hideout had been compromised. Rylet and Taria also both set up alarm spells around the explosives so they'd know if they were found. That night, Yuri had a dream where he was visited by the saint who he'd been intrigued by recently. Considering he woke up with a physical key in his pocket the next morning, he got the impression that it might not have just been a dream. Shortly after they were all awake, while the group was heading upwards back towards the sewers proper, they got a ping from one of the alarm spells letting them know the decoy explosives had been found. The ones under the street seemed to still be hidden, though. Pesh then got an alert from his eyes on the ground that Imbara, the leader of the praetors, was in the market surrounded by red cloak praetors, and they were sealing the entrances to the sewers. A few moments later, Sean and Ryland realized that the praetors were trying to poison them. The two of them quickly warned Pesh, who hurried to get his people out through various side exits. Then the group sprang into action, as they clearly didn't have much time. Since the sewers were blocked off, Sean and Ryland used Dimension Door to get themselves, Yuri, and Thalrizian outside where they could follow the plan. Taria and Tornak made themselves big and teleported into the middle of the garrison. They dropped the bombs, and Tornak got them out subtly so that the praetors had no chance to even react before they were dead. The two of them then started flying towards the market. As soon as the garrison exploded, praetors and soldiers both started rushing down the street the group had booby-trapped. Yuri brought out the ship, and people started rappelling down from it. Kai Gilbor went last, and his appearance made townsfolk start joining into the fight. The moment everyone was off the ship, Yuri put it back in its bottle. Around that point, Ryland triggered the bomb under the street and took out all of the troops running and riding along it. Invara and a number of Red Cloak praetors went flying up into the air on mechanical wings. She shot a bunch of people with arrows before noticing Tornak and shooting at him. He'd put up mirror image beforehand, and between it and shield, he managed to not be hit by her. Yet. He noticed, however, that it looked like Invara might be trying to capture the group and not just kill them. Although, presumably, either would be acceptable considering the wanted posters they'd seen previously. Dead or alive. Sean sprinted further away, trying to make sure she was outside the range where praetors' abilities cause people to use double the magic. Everyone else moved closer, preparing for the fight. And that is where we left off.